Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Jared Lee, and I'm joined, as usual, by my lovely wife, Jamie Lee. So, Jamie, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Doing good. So, you're getting ready to go to Disney with your sister.
Yep. We're actually recording this on Tuesday, which is earlier than we usually do, because I'm leaving tomorrow morning. Wednesday, I'll be there for a couple days. So, it'll be fun. I miss her. I haven't seen her in 6 months.
And then the cousins can have cousin time.
Our kids are very excited. Our son is excited to ride Spaceship Earth. That's all he's talked about those couple days.
He knows what he wants to do.
I was like, buddy, what do you want to do at Disney? He goes, ride Spaceship Earth. I was like, oh, okay. Which is like new because like he hasn't really talked about it before, but I guess he likes Mickey's Ball and he likes Spaceship Earth. I'm like, okay, you know what? We're going to ride it. We're going to do it.
It is a giant golf ball. You can go right in the middle of it.
Yeah. He's so funny. Anyway, no, they're really excited and staying at Fort Wilderness. We'll be staying in one of the new IKEA in the Woods cabins.
IKEA in the Woods.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of is the best way to describe those cabins is that. So.
I know. I'm excited to see them. I'm excited to stay there. But they are the new Disney Vacation Club cabins. And they've been open. I think they opened almost a year ago. And they, everyone says they're nice. They're new, they're nice.
Yeah.
We'll see how they compare to the older cabins they used to have. Because I actually really liked those. I really like that woodsy, super woodsy feeling.
And I like the layout of what those were too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. This one is a little different, so we'll see. But
do they still have grills outside?
I'm sure.
I would assume they would.
I haven't. I need to do a look more into the cabins, but I guess I can also be surprised.
You can just, sometimes being surprised is good.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to be probably doing work. Pretty boring.
Right.
I think. Grilling some meat.
I mean, you'll have a lot of opportunity to get a lot of work done with some quiet.
True. Mm-hmm. I will probably just record a bunch of videos is my guess.
That's great.
I don't know. It won't be that exciting. Maybe
okay.
some arm wrestling with my friends that sometimes we do.
You do you. Okay.
As guys do.
Have fun with that.
All right, I will. But we do have some stuff we're going to talk about today. Not a lot of news, but one that does revolve around the potentiality. I like that word of Disney eventually doing a fifth gate.
Mm-hmm.
So we can talk about that. And then we haven't done one in like a year, so we actually have a Q&A from our audience about some questions that we will answer because we don't do a lot of those, but we haven't done them in a while. We're just like, okay, let's do one this time.
I think it was last July we did it, so we'll just make it an annual summer thing.
Annual summer thing.
Sure.
Maybe we should do it around Christmas time too.
Maybe.
Would that be biannual?
Okay. I cannot get into this discussion about bi-weekly, biannual, bi-monthly because there are literally two meanings to that word.
I know.
I can't deal with it
because
right now.
Technically they say if you're paid like bi-weekly, it means you're getting paid every 2 weeks.
Yes, but the definition of the word bi-weekly should be 2 times a week.
Right.
This is my issue, and I can't get into it.
No, I agree with you.
So 2 times a year. Let's just say that. Let's just say that. This is not confusing.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, Jamie.
Bi-yearly would be what we mean. Bi-yearly. Bi-monthly would be 2 times a month, but that's again right.
You know what? I have lost interest in this topic already as I brought it up, but I'm with you.
Okay.
If you need my support, I'm there with you. Anytime we can attack the English language and certain elements of it, I'm in because I've got beefs there. So, all right. Well, before we get to the news, I want to remind everybody, if you are watching us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're not watching us on YouTube and you would like to see video versions of the show, you can check us out over at CTM Podcast. Of course, on YouTube. And of course, you're listening on good old trusty audio podcast form. You can find us on all the major platforms there. We just ask you to please subscribe and leave us a review. We would greatly appreciate that. Helps us continue to grow the show around here. So, all right, well, let's get into the news. So the first story we have, like I said, is a 5th Disney gate in Florida is on the minds of Disney according to new documents that were recently filed.
Yeah, so a new plan was released by the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District, that long name, and in Disney World that outlines plans for the area into 2045. And this does include a 5th park. Now, it says that only one major theme park is allowed between 2035 and 2045, and 2 minor theme parks during that same time frame, which would be like the size of like water park.
Right.
This does not mean that there are plans currently in the works for new parks. It just means that the district is allowing them to do it.
Yeah, I think some people read that when this was almost, I felt like it was a rehash of a story last year where they had talked about this.
So they redid this plan. So this is a newer kind of plan.
Yeah.
But it's so I guess it's just kind of updated. But the fact that like they are saying, yeah, you can build a 5th gate if you want to now, is cool. But I don't know. Like, do you think that they'll announce? I mean, that's 10 years away from this 10-year time frame. Do you think that they'll announce a 5th gate coming in the next couple of years?
No.
I
don't think there's any chance. I think a 5th gate. First off, the current maintenance levels around Disney World as a whole are not where they need to be. Throw in another gate on top of that is just going to be a mess. I mean, it just even worse. And I actually don't think a 5th gate makes any sense in this current environment where you have Universal being much more competitive. They're going to continue to expand and do things. There's not enough vacation days for people that are going to Orlando in general. And now at this point where like Disney and Universal share an audience, I mean, I don't think that's outlandish to say that a lot of people go to Universal and Disney. A 5th gate would essentially just mean more than likely, like say Animal Kingdom or some other park would just see a massive drop off in attendance. I don't think there's an appetite or a demand for 5 parks at Disney World. I just don't think there's not enough there to support it.
Is there any other place that's such a touristy place like Disney World that has that much, I guess, that many parks, that many theme parks, or that many entertainment options?
Not on Disney's level. Not on that level, no.
So it's just kind of like out of the realm of like what would be reasonable?
I think a more feasible option is if you look at Animal Kingdom, you look at Hollywood Studios, even Epcot in many cases. Like there's still areas of those parks that need to be expanded and improved upon before you even look at a 5th gate. Yeah. I just don't think, again, most people have 5 vacation days. And that's what most people are looking at. So essentially by building a 5th gate, Disney would be assuming that they would only be coming to Disney World and spending all 5 days there. Plus you have the water parks there. So that means the water parks those would see a massive drop off if that was the case. And again, the realistic reality is just simply, especially with like Epic Universe and all the new things Universal is doing, like people are more than likely than ever either to split time or go majority of time at Disney, partial time at Universal or vice versa. I just don't think between the two destinations now a 5th gate makes any sense. Not to mention the money it would cost, which is going to be, Epic Universe is about $7 billion. So you're saying like instead of them thinking, well, we'll just force people to just stay on Disney property and like not having you have the option to on any other theme parks, that keep them in Disney and just do all, if they're going to be a 5th one of 5 theme parks. Do you think that would be a feasible thing for some people to do? Be like, well, there's 5 theme parks now. I want to have time to go to Universal. That's okay. Or do you think they'll be like, well, I just won't go to Animal Kingdom, or I just won't go to Epcot. Well,
and then I'll make room for the other parks.
I think that's the likely scenario is they would just drop off. I don't think most people are going to look to go to 5 parks necessarily in just the same destination in a given week.
That makes me so tired to think about that.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
And you can make an argument now of just like 4 parks. Again, like Animal Kingdom needs a lot more stuff to do. Hollywood Studios is a park of dead ends at this point. Like it's just, there's a lot of areas of both those parks in particular that can be brought up to speed. I just had never thought, I think I look at the 5th gate. I'm not saying they'll never do it. Maybe that 2035, 2045 time period is a time they might do it. I don't think there's any chance anytime before it. Like there have been some theme park analysts that literally make money by being, quote, a theme park analyst that are quoted in major newspapers that will say Disney's going to announce a 5th gate this year. No, they're not. They're not going to do it. They're already spending as much money as they're spending expanding all these lands that they're, all the stuff they're doing in the existing parks for the next decade, essentially. So the earliest time frame would be that 2035, 2045. So that timeline does add up in terms of what they could announce it. I just, there's so much that could happen between then and now.
Yeah.
And I just think all that's going to happen between then and now is Universal is going to continue to just eat into more market share more than likely. And I'm not saying that they'll ever get to Disney's level, but I think it's just the new reality of Orlando is that it's not solely just a Disney thing now. I think maybe 10, 15 years ago, you could have made a better argument for a fifth gate than you could.
Well, we thought maybe they would.
Than you could now.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, think about all the people. Like, if they opened a fifth park, it would be even busier, you know?
Maybe.
Something else the plan kind of outlined was they basically allowed for adding less hotel rooms. They took out some of the, from the revised plan or whatever, it took out some hotel rooms, I think by 4,000 rooms or something. So I don't think they're going to build as many hotels in the next 10 years, 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, you're kind of hitting the point now where how many more hotels can you really build?
You can keep going.
I mean, you can. Well, and I think really if this is something they are looking at, which it's hard to know with the Tourism Oversight District, which is how much of this is Disney and how much of this is just them. Sometimes they do things kind of for Disney's, I guess, looking out for Disney. So it's not necessarily being done by Disney themselves, like the Brightline train line, where the Oversight Board is saying they maybe want to be a part of that, where Disney previously under Chapek, they opted out of it because they wanted to be the only stop.
Right.
And they didn't get it, so they dropped out. So they may do some things that even if Disney's not on board with it. But I think really how the only feasible scenario to me is in the next 10 years, how are things looking in Orlando? Are things booming? If things are really going good and the parks are like they were in 2018, 2019, that's a possibility. A lot of it's going to be dependent upon how these new lands are received. How does the attendance do? There's so many unknowns. It's hard to say. I just think as it is right now, in the next 10 years, they're not going to announce a new theme park. I don't think. I don't think they will. I think there's much other things they can do.
But they could if they wanted to.
Yeah. But potentially it is there.
Okay.
I just don't think it'll happen, but we'll see. All right, next news story we have is My Disney Experience has major updates to the dining reservation navigation part of the app.
Yeah, so these updates can be found on both the website and the app. And so here's kind of what you can do. So you can now view availability kind of like you do with making park reservations. You can see multiple days if they are available or not, looking at the actual, the whole calendar, all of June, all of July. And it'll say green dot if has times available, and it'll be grayed out like that gray no symbol. It'll be present if there's no times available for that particular day. Now you can choose up to 10 days, 1 to 10 days in a particular time range. And then you can search for the time range using a slider. So before it was opening or breakfast time, which is opening to noon or before noon, and then noon to 4, and then 4 to close or 4 to midnight, something like that. Now it's between 6 a.m. and midnight, and you just use a slider for what the ranges you want to look for. Do you want to look for 8 a.m. to 10 a.m.? Okay, here you go. You're just going to slide it there, and it'll show you all the times and populate that for you, which is actually pretty cool. And it's a lot easier to go from changing the dates that you want to change easier. It's easier to see the times. So you can also filter by location. So you can search for theme park area and resorts. So the Magic Kingdom area of Parks and Resorts, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom. You also have Disney Springs area, and you can do all of them, and you can filter that way. So it's a lot easier to use.
So you think it's a good improvement?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. So
I haven't messed with it yet, but I know I've read around and a lot of people were having some positive comments about it was easier, better user interface, more or less. I
actually used it today, and I was like, well, I know I want a particular time within 30 minutes. So I think the least amount of range you can look for is an hour. So I was searching between 5 and 6 p.m., and it showed up all the ones that are available that time. I was like, this is good.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I will say the Disney app and their website stuff has gotten better.
It has.
It was not that long ago. It was very, I guess the early days of, say, virtual queue especially did not work great. But they seem to have I don't know if they changed the way they do those or whatever it is, but it's gotten a lot better on the app side at least.
Yes, I will commend them for that. It is better.
Yeah. So, all right. Last story we have is extended evening hours will be available at Hollywood Studios in August.
So far,
yes.
the only date we have is August 29th, but more dates could be available into September. That's expected as future calendars are released for like hours and stuff, but we just don't know past August. And they did this last year, and it fell right around the time of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So this is not like a surprise. The first date, August 29th, is a Friday, which is interesting. So it's a extended evening hours on Hollywood Studios on a Friday.
Okay.
So, that's that's a good day to do it. I mean, if you're staying on property and not going to the Halloween party, go to Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
Enjoy 2 hours if you're a deluxe or DVC member staying on property. Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
So that's kind of cool. And then the calendar is interesting because they posted the extended evening hours up to, like I said, end of August. And it's Magic Kingdom and Epcot this week. And then it goes to Epcot and Animal Kingdom up until August 13th, which goes back to Magic Kingdom for just one time. And then it goes back to Animal Kingdom. And then it starts Hollywood Studios.
Okay.
Epcot is always on Monday and Magic Kingdom is always on Wednesday. But like I said, it changes to Animal Kingdom for Wednesday and then a random Hollywood Studios one on Friday. It's interesting.
So do you think there'll be more going into September? Very likely.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Well, it's hard to do Magic Kingdom because there's so many dates of the Halloween party, that extended evening hours is just not feasible because the people that are not going to the Halloween parties, it will go on days that, because it closes at 6:00 p.m. So there's no there's not going to be any parade or fireworks that night for regular park guests. So there's only a few days during the week. So I would assume that they would just move it over Hollywood Studios throughout September and probably October.
Okay. That makes sense.
Maybe a little Animal Kingdom too. I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe they'll throw a whole bunch of things in there.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, well, that's going to do it for the news. Not a lot of news, but before we get to our Q&A segment, just want to remind everybody, if you are looking for some fantastic shirts, theme park apparel, you should check out Capture the Magic Apparel. That is our own company, as you might have guessed from the name there. And we print all the shirts ourselves. We don't use third-party printers. We design them in-house, and we ship them out to you on very comfortable, high-quality shirts. So the prints will last you a long time. The shirts are very, very comfortable. And as a T-shirt snob, I will fully admit I'm very picky about these, so I feel like they are some of the better ones you will find. I don't like those rough, scratchy type shirts. These are very soft, and like I said, the prints, I have some shirts, like Jamie's wearing one right now that I think is like 4 years old that does well. So these shirts will last you a while. So if you can go check those out, you can go to ctmapparelco.com, and you can use the promo code JUNE to save 20% off of your order this month. Plus, if you order $49 or more, you get free shipping on top of that. So you can go check that out. We got some brand new Epic Universe shirts. We also have a lot of Disney shirts in there, some old favorites you can check out in the shop there. And again, ctmapparelco.com. Use the promo code JUNE and save 20% off of your order. So, all right. Well, let's get to our Q&A section of this. So these were asked in the Capture Magic Facebook group,
as well as our Instagram group on Capture the Magic. So follow us over there if you don't follow us on Facebook or Instagram. But I asked the question, Q&A. What do you want to know about us, about yourself, trip planning? What
about yourself?
Yeah. If you have questions about us, questions about yourself. Whatever you want.
I don't know what that question about them would be.
Like, if you're going on a trip, do you have a question about something?
I thought you meant they
had
a question about themselves.
Listen, I don't judge. If people want to talk about themselves,
hey, if they have relationship questions, I'm willing to give my opinions on the matter.
Absolutely,
I can do that. So, all right. The first one we have is best restaurant at Animal Kingdom.
So the only restaurant we haven't had, I don't think we've done Tiffin's yet.
Don't think so.
No, I think we haven't. I don't remember doing it. I really like Nomad Lounge, but it's a lounge, so I don't know if that counts. If we're going like table service, I'd say Yak and Yeti.
I was gonna say Yak and Yeti to me it's the best combo of like the food's really good, it's pretty good prices, and for like at least a theme park, and it's really good.
I mean, the Landry's rewards members, they get like, priority seating or like, bumped up to like priority seating. You don't need like a reservation. You just kind of walk in and flash your card.
Yeah.
You get discounts from that. It's yummy. I love the Asian fusion kind of food they have. I mean, we loved it. It was really good.
Yeah.
It's huge too. There's so many tables in there.
I even like the quick service portion of it too.
Yes. They have the best egg rolls and fried rice.
The orange chicken and stuff you can get there. So
yes.
It's a solid option. Yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah.
I would say so. But Nomad Lounge is good too.
So we agree that one?
I agree. I don't think Nomad Lounge, I don't consider it a restaurant. I mean, they have food, but it's much more of a lounge setting.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I do like Situate Canteen as well. I don't like it as much as Yak and Yeti, but I do. I think Animal Kingdom has some solid food options.
It actually is a low-key good food park. Mm-hmm. It's not open that late. It's the hottest park in the world. Yeah. So it's not like you always want to eat when you're there too. So
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. All right. Next question we have is, finally, after Epic opening, Disney or Universal?
I cannot and I will not choose. It's like they're both apples, but like one is a Granny Smith and one's like a Gala apple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can, like, they're both theme parks. They're both theme park conglomerates, but they're both very different. There's a lot of things I like about Disney. There's a lot of things I like about Universal, and same thing. And some things I don't like, some things I don't like. I am happy that Epic is opening, and we can hopefully eventually add that to our annual pass and be able to go there more frequently, to really kind of, absorb ourselves in that park, if you will. But it's exciting to have something new. So it's been on our mind a lot. We've done a lot of episodes about it. We've visited and done like the previews and stuff. So it's a very exciting time for Universal in that way. But Disney's always there. Disney's been in my life for my whole life. And so like, if I had to choose Disney or Universal right now, I can't. I'm choosing both. I know that's not an answer you want, but that is mine.
Jamie's going to PC.
That is mine. No, I cannot choose. I cannot choose.
I mean,
and I will not.
That's fair. So, I mean, I love Epic Universe, and obviously over the years, I really have enjoyed a lot of things Universal is doing. I like the way that Universal, I like the way you're dealing with both massive corporations. So it's very rare that you get what seems to be, very responsive to the audience. It's hard to do. And many times Universal does pull this off very well. I kind of think it's how they're set up is much differently than Disney. So I think Universal does a lot of things for like the annual pass holders, and like they're even making quick changes at Epic Universe right now, like adding, like they filed a new construction permit for a new venue that is likely to be some sort of entertainment venue to help with, the crowds and the wait times in that park. So they seem to be very like on top of things as they happen. As of right now, I think this can always fluctuate. I haven't been to Disney a little bit, but I've been to Universal quite a bit.
It's true.
I am enjoying a lot of what Universal does, and it also helps too. Like with Universal, our annual pass, like we have Express Pass after 4, which is a very nice perk. So like it's easier to go to Universal as well. Like we can just get up and go. You don't have to do as much planning.
It's true.
So I think as of right now, if I'm being perfectly honest, I am enjoying Universal more. I still enjoy going to Disney. I think I like how the Disney parks were more in the 2018, 2019 era. But they're still obviously enjoyable. But as of right now, I am enjoying Universal a bit more. It's kind of where my interest is right now, but that could always change.
Okay.
But especially like Big Thunder's down, and that's my favorite roller coaster at Disney.
Oh.
It's going to be down for like a year.
Yeah.
And yeah. But I mean, I love Magic Kingdom. When Epcot has festival going on, it's a lot of fun going to Epcot. It just kind of depends on the time of year, what's going on. Like obviously Main Street at like Christmas time there's really nothing else like it.
Well, and also too, like we've been to Disney and done almost everything at Disney, in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's not like it's new, whereas Epic is brand new and we're still learning and still doing.
I'm really not including Epic's part of it. Like I love going to that park, but as
you're talking about in general.
I'm just talking about in general.
Okay.
Like Epic is, I love that park. But as of right now, it's still a park that's in beta testing mode. Like they're still trying to figure all that stuff out. And like you said, there's no annual pass option, so I don't want to pay $140 a pop to go. Yeah. So I'm, it's just kind of like we've been 3 times as a whole is probably going to be it for a little bit. See what it looks like more toward the fall. Yeah. But there is recency bias there, but I think I like the things Universal's doing. I think they're being very aggressive with a lot of things they're doing. But like I've always said, you don't have to choose. Like this is one topic I always get about is like, you don't have to pick a team.
Yeah.
You can just enjoy what both parks have to offer. And if you go through a period where you're like, I really like what this park's doing, then go do that. Like you don't have to have any guilt about it.
Yeah.
But like I said, it can fluctuate time of year and everything's going on. So
that's fair.
That's just my personal, being totally honest opinion there.
That's fair.
So all right, next question is tips for dealing with end of August heat. We are from New England and usually go in February.
So if you usually go in February, but you're going in August, way more humidity in August versus February. Sometimes February has like hot days, but not the humidity. So, my biggest piece of advice for August or September, July, anytime it's really, really hot, is do not spend the entire day in the park. Like it is so tiring. It is so hot. Like take a break.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I have a background in personal training. Long before I did theme park stuff, I did fitness stuff, and I still enjoy fitness stuff. I would say one of the things dealing with the heat is make sure you drink water. Like first thing in the morning, just drink water. If you can, put a little like Himalayan sea salt in there to help you absorb a little bit more. Because the biggest thing you're going to run into, and along those lines as well, like get used to walking and doing, walking a lot before you go on your trip. Because the biggest thing I've seen, and some people have had heat stroke, we've seen people pass out in the theme parks, is you go from not doing anything to all of a sudden you're in a theme park. It's incredibly hot. It's very humid. So with the humidity, you will sweat a lot more.
Yep.
And those kind of warning signs of like heat exhaustion, heat stroke kicking in, a lot of times, by the time you feel them, it's kind of too late.
Yeah.
And so you got to be proactive about it. So, get you, if you need an umbrella, get an umbrella, but drink water, be used to moving and exercise. And if you need to take a break, like Jamie said, take a break midday. Like I don't want to be anywhere in a theme park from 1 o'clock till 5 o'clock.
Yep.
Like those are to be the hottest time. That's going to be also the most crowded time. So rope drop, get there early, take a break, go swim. And just don't push yourself too much if you're not used to doing stuff. And, if you got kids, make sure they got water, make sure that all that stuff. And
also ditch the mouse ears and wear a hat.
I would say I've got one of those like lifeguard hats, like kind of like a bucket hat.
Something.
I mean, that's the thing too. You can keep the sun kind of off your shoulders and your neck, or they've got those cooling towels. Those are actually kind of nice to use. Those can help you out quite a bit.
Well, for me, if my forehead is hot or like anywhere like the top part of my face, I'm instantly hotter the rest of my body for whatever reason. So if I'm wearing a hat, I feel much better. And that's why I said ditch the ears. That's
right.
Personally for me. Also, do not be afraid. If it's not raining, get your umbrella out. If it's really, really sunny, who cares? Walk around with an umbrella to block out the sun. It's brutal in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, summer heat, it's one of those things, like even living here, you get used to it, but it's still you walk outside and you're just like, oh my gosh, it's just,
it's here.
It hits you like a wall of just humidity and heat just run into it. Right. But that would be what I'd say. And if you need it, the main thing, you'll be good if you just keep that water up throughout the day. That'll help you out a lot.
Yep.
All right, next one we have is 5-day ticket, 2 kids, ages 3 and 5, skipping Animal Kingdom. Other than Magic Kingdom, which park should we do twice?
For kids 3 and 5, no Animal Kingdom.
I'd say Hollywood Studios.
You think so?
I mean, Epcot has things for kids to do, but Epcot is not. This is a discussion we've had. I think Epcot is the least kid-friendly park. It's a lot of the World Showcase, things like that.
Especially this age.
Yes. I think Hollywood Studios has much more things like Disney Junior. You've got Toy Story Land. You've got a lot more things that like kids will be interested in doing versus Epcot.
Plus the new shows that just opened.
Yeah.
Frozen show. I mean, there's a lot of shows, which is not bad. If you, especially, I mean, like your 5-year-old, both of them, they might be really into like Star Wars. They might like the lightsaber stuff, and so there's that too. So yeah, I guess Hollywood Studios would be my second pick. It would be my second pick anyway, like to do 2 days there versus like at Epcot. But that's just personal opinion for me.
Yeah,
because I love it.
I would agree.
Yeah. And also like for your kids and their ages, I don't know. I mean, Disney Junior Dance Party, like you said, or whatever the ride is called or whatever the attraction is called. But also Hollywood and Vine, they have the Disney Junior characters at breakfast. And that's the only place you can see any of the like Disney Channel, Disney Junior characters in the park.
Yeah.
So if your kids watch those or are into those, like that's a good opportunity to go see them.
Yeah, I would agree.
So,
agreed.
There you go.
Next question is, going to Disney in September, thinking of doing the Halloween party. Is it worth it? I heard you weren't going this year.
If you have not done it, I would do it. I would do it once. I would experience it. I would wear the costumes and trick or treat and see the shows, the parade, the fireworks, like enjoy it because it is very fun. Is it a repeatable thing to do every year? Sure. A lot of people do that. We have done it every year for the last couple of years. And we said just this year we're not going just because there's really nothing new that we want to check out or see. So it would just be one of those things where like, well, we probably just won't do it this year. But if you've never done it, like I would definitely consider it. I would just replace one of your park days with this. So instead of like, if you were coming for like 5 days or whatever, and you were going to get like a 4-day hopper, get a 3-day hopper, and then just make this one of your park days and have like resort day earlier in the day or something like that.
I think when it says, is it worth it? It's completely dependent upon like each person. Personally speaking, I think the Halloween party, like you said, we've been before. It's fun. It doesn't change. Like I suppose the strength and the weakness of it is it doesn't change a lot. So it's consistent. But if you've done it before, not a whole lot's going to be different except for the price. The price is going up. Mm-hmm. If you're going closer to Halloween, I don't personally think it's worth $230 per person to do it.
Well, if they're going in September, it would be around the $150-$60 range.
Right. More reasonable there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying in general for those out there. Like the more expensive it gets, like I just don't think these extra parties, let's say you have a family of 4, I don't think it's worth $1,000. Of all the things you can do in Disney property, or in theme parks in general, I don't think dropping $1,000 on the Halloween party is I think there's better things you get out of that money than just the Halloween party.
But but they've never done it.
Right. So it just depends on, is it worth it to you? That's a question that goes into it, that price tag. I'm just saying my personal opinion, I don't think it's worth that price tag. Doesn't mean they won't. Doesn't mean other people don't think it's worth that. It
like
just
me?
depends. Huh?
Like me?
It's fine.
I think it's worth it to do it once. I really do, especially if you're going not in October, at the end of October where it's the most expensive. Do it in September. Do it at least once. I think it's worth it.
I won't tell you what to do with your money. I'll just tell you what I think personally. That's all I'm saying about that. So I think that's just...
You have two differing opinions here. Who do you want to listen to?
I'm usually the what they call pragmatist. Is that the word?
Pragmatist.
Pragmatist. Is
Pragmatic.
that a word?
I
feel like you just made that up. Are you trying to gaslight me now?
No, I was trying to think of what you were saying. I was like, is that what you say?
I would
Pragmatic.
say if you are going to do the Halloween party, I would definitely say earlier in the year makes way more sense in that end of things. But yeah, I mean,
so hot.
It is a good party. Mm-hmm. It's fun. It just, in my mind, just comes down to the cost of it. So
now last year, just FYI, a lot of the parties were either like rained out. Remember last year they had to keep rebooking people. Like it would rain out and people would have to rebook for another night or get refunded. And it kept happening like a lot last year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hurricane season and it's Florida. It's like, what are you going to do? But I remember that happening last year. So,
well, I also think with the increased prices, when it does rain, people are going to they're going to go wanting to get a rain check. Mm-hmm. I think back whenever it was, I mean, like I said, 2018, 2019, we did it. It was like $80-ish per person. I think is what we paid.
We went in 2018. It was just our daughter. Yeah, that's when she was still free. Remember that? Yeah, it was like $70 something with their AP discount.
Yeah. So if you're for like 2 people to go, you're spending $140. Something happens, you're like, whatever. Not a huge deal to me. But when you're spending what was the price for 2 people now for 1 person per person, I think a lot more people are just saying like, okay, I want to, give me another date to go. So I think that's one reason why that may happen a little bit more. If I were to guess, but I don't have inside knowledge unless I just make it up, but I don't do that.
Oh, okay.
All right, next question is, what kind of attractions do you think Epic could use next? I think undoubtedly indoor attractions, just given the weakness of that park, is the outdoor attractions. So when it rains and those rides go down, you only have 4 attractions running, which obviously are going to impact wait times there.
Yeah.
So I think, an indoor attraction. Personally speaking, I'd love to see Luigi's Mansion extension off of Super Nintendo World. Also, the rumors of Zelda are out there. There is a really cool ride concept that I saw on Twitter the other day, and I think Attraction Magazine had posted it. And it is this, Mack Rides has this new ride system. So it's a boat attached to an underwater chassis. It says, could change the future of theme parks after debuting at Future Scope in France. It has been rumored to be coming to Epic Universe. So basically, it kind of looks like a whitewater rafting type of ride, but you're always attached to the rail. Like it's like a roller coaster that also goes underwater and it extends out of the water. So you're always on the rail.
Oh, I see what you're looking at. Yeah.
But you can, I would say maybe Epic Universe could also use a water ride because most, at least one. I think that ride system could be pretty cool. They could use it for, Creature from the Black Lagoon, stuff like that.
Ooh,
you could do stuff, there's some really cool ride tech out there that you could do some cool stuff with. But I definitely think the first few extensions probably need to be indoors though.
Yeah, and you're talking about this water ride system. Yeah, just another water-based ride in general, like some kind of boat ride would be great. Because isn't Fire Drill the only one?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess I said no water rides. I guess water ride meaning like a plunge type ride or something like that. But yeah, there technically is a water ride there, but it's just you're just going to get soaked by people spraying water on you.
That's all right. People like water rides, especially in the summer.
Well, and I didn't realize, I did a video on Toon Lagoon about how that whole area is kind of outdated, but the issue they have there is those 2 water rides in the summertime they're pretty popular. And so a lot of it is just like, I was under the assumption like just get rid of the rides, put something else there. But there's a lot of people that really like those rides. Yeah. So I think water rides, especially, obviously in Florida, like it's not a bad thing. Like I think it's a personal preference. Like I don't prefer water rides a lot just because I don't want to be wet in my clothes a lot. But it's a personal preference. Some people do. Yeah. But yeah, I think those could help Epic Universe out. And probably adding something to Ministry of Magic. They need another ride in that land.
Yeah.
Just having one there. Even though that ride's great, only having one ride there, I think, is a weakness of that land.
Yeah.
But, all right. Next question is, do you plan on visiting the planned UK Universal Park or Disneyland Paris anytime soon? Are you planning a trip to Japan?
Those were 2 separate questions I combined into one just to kind of cover everything.
Dare you?
While I would love to visit Disneyland Paris and the UK park that's coming from Universal, I think that the first trip we would take if it was overseas would be to Japan. I would like to go to Tokyo.
I would actually just like to go to Japan.
I think that would be our first overseas visit. Yeah. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. The UK park for Universal is going to be way off. You're talking 2032, if not longer. Yeah. Before that's done. Although, if they're going to have Back to the Future, I think you're going to want to go check it out.
I think you're right.
Unless they could also bring that to Universal Studios Florida.
They could.
I've kind of had that prediction that they may bring that. But yeah, I would agree. I think Japan, Tokyo Disneyland is many times. A lot of people say that's the best theme park out there. Yeah. But also just Japan in general seems very cool. Yeah. Some of the stuff they do there, I'm just like, that looks neat.
Yeah. Yeah. That would definitely be my number 1 pick too.
I don't have a lot of desire to go to Paris, I'm being honest.
I know.
I've known some people that went recently and they were like, it's not like in the movies. Yeah. I was like, okay.
I know. Definitely Japan would be our first pick there.
Yeah, I would agree there. All right, next question is, if you could only go to one singular park for the rest of your life, where would it be?
So I read this question, and I think they're just saying like which of the Disney World parks of the 4.
I guess it could be of Disney and or Universal. Or any park, really. Silver Dollar City.
I mean, I would probably, this is going to be kind of cliche, but I would say Magic Kingdom would be the number 1 park to go through the rest of my life. It has the most attractions. I feel like it's the most, I don't want to say kid friendly, but like family, like all age focused, I guess. It's got the castle, like it is the flagship theme park, I guess. And yeah, I would say Magic Kingdom.
It's tough because you're talking about like for the rest of your life, the only park you could go to.
Mm-hmm.
See, I look at this more as like an investment.
Okay.
So investments, obviously, you're not necessarily looking at the here and now, but you're looking at where this will be in 10, 20 years. Okay. So if you were to tell me I have to choose one park only, and that's the only one I can go to for like 10 years, I'm personally going to choose Epic Universe because I think they're going to add a lot of things to that park. So the park as it is now is not going to be the same as it is in 10, 20 years. Magic Kingdom, I agree with what you're saying. Maybe I'm a little bitter about taking out the Rivers of America, but I'm a little more concerned about some of the additions they may do at, like, say, Magic Kingdom. Although I think Villains would be good, and I agree, like, it has the most things to do and everything like that, and most family friendly. But if I just had to choose, granted, I'm a big Nintendo fan. I love How to Train Your Dragon, all those things. I probably would choose Epic, but I think Magic Kingdom would be my second choice. So if you had to choose, like, Universal, it'd be Epic Universe. If you had to use Disney, it would be Magic Kingdom. I just think there's going to be way more things in Epic Universe in the next 10 to 20 years than there is right now. Okay. So it's like an investment in future fun. Okay. And attractions that they may do.
All right.
All right, next question is, how did you get started with Capture the Magic? What made you want to do it? Well, we originally... we started going to Disney. When's the first time we went together?
First time we went together was in 2013, and then we went again in 2015, and both before we had kids or anything. And then we were kind of, I was listening to Disney Unplugged a lot, and they have the podcast and they do like on YouTube and stuff. And, you know, I think you were kind of like, well, we could do that.
Well, the desire to do it would have been, we went the first time in 2013. I was apprehensive about going. It was like your boss at the time paid for it. It was like a bonus thing for you.
Yes.
And so we went on the trip, and I actually had like a really good time. Now, I had been before, but I'd been to Disney and like didn't stay on property. Stuff really wasn't planned out very much. So I had a really good time. Then it came for our like 5-year anniversary. We were like, well, where do we want to go? And I was like, I'd be cool with going back to Disney. Mm-hmm. And I think you were surprised by that. So we went there and we stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge, had a really, really good trip. Mm-hmm. And then after that, like, you were listening to Disney Unplugged, I would listen to it as well. And then as they would talk about things, I would be like, well, I disagree or I agree or whatever. And then that's kind of whenever I started listening to more podcasts where I was working at a warehouse at the time. And I just being like, we could do that. Mm-hmm. And you were like, what? And I was like, yeah, let's just do that. And you were not on board at first.
No, I was like, who was going to want to listen to me talk? I didn't think that at all. I was like, this is crazy.
I was like, people will listen. So I did, as I tend to do, I'm all about like momentum. So I didn't sit around for months and like read a bunch of stuff how to do it best. I basically just did a real quick thing on basic equipment. I think we maybe spent like $100 on mics and equipment and things like that, and just started recording in our kitchen. And that's kind of how we got started. The original name of the podcast, though, was not Capture the Magic.
It was Citizens of Main Street.
It was. I had the URL, I had the logo designed, and then a few days later, we actually had recorded 5 episodes. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, we have to change the name. And you were like, what? And I'm like, we need to change it. And you're like, why? And I was like, it was even back then, I was like, it niches us down too much where we can't do anything else other than Disney. And I was like, I would, eventually want to cover Universal and other things to do.
Yep.
So I was like, I want to change the name to something more generic that also will include other things, and that's why we changed the name there. But yeah, we had 5 episodes recorded that are lost in the ether forever because we had to redo them. I was like, maybe we can go in there and edit them out. We didn't do that. But yeah, that's kind of how it started.
Yeah.
And then 20 years later, here we are.
Well, we are coming up on 8 years.
Gosh, I feel old.
Yes, because our daughter's turning 9 and we started when she was 1. So there you go.
I think it's a great lesson if you want to do something, just kind of jump in and do it. I've always felt overthinking is a detriment because you'll never get it perfect. And you're always, when you're going to start a podcast, unless you're just happen to be really, really talented, you're going to suck when you first start. I don't even want to know what we sounded like on the first episodes. I could go back and listen, but I would probably cringe. So it's like you just jump in, get through the suck part, and try and get better. Maybe we're still in there. Maybe I am. But you try and get better but don't overthink it. So I always tell people all the time, the thing about doing a podcast, I'm like, don't think, just do it. Like, have minimal planning and then just take action. So.
And I think our anniversary is actually like July 2nd.
Yeah, we started it. No, technically we started July 5th. I think. It was like right around the 4th of July.
All right. So next Thursday, we'll make it our anniversary episode.
Do I have to dress up?
Suit and tie.
I don't have any. Okay.
There you go.
I'll rent tux. So. Next question we have is, what made you decide to live where you do in Florida and not in the Orlando area?
So we wanted to be close enough to go to Disney and it not be like, a very big commute. Like we're 2 hours away ish, depending on traffic. And that's far enough away to where we don't feel like we're living in Orlando and close enough to where we can do day trips, basically. I have no interest in living in Orlando.
I don't either. I don't like bigger cities in general.
Yeah.
And I don't want to deal with I-4.
Nope.
At all.
Not even the little areas around it, like Davenport, Claremont, Windermere, all that stuff. I don't have any interest in living over there.
One reason we chose this because we're not far from the ocean.
We're like 30 minutes from the coast.
Yeah, but we get a nice, like, even in the summer, it's still hot here, but in the evenings we get a nice little breeze that comes in. So you do get that in the summers and things like that.
Yep. Now, the thing, I would probably move maybe within an hour of Disney, but that's probably as close as we would get.
Yeah, I don't have any interest in living like right around Orlando for sure.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but we love living here in St. Augustine, so we'll probably stick around for a while.
I mean, I like the rural area of it, and it's very pretty.
It's very pretty.
Oldest city in America. And
we both wanted to live in Florida. Like, it wasn't just one thing where we're just like, whatever. Jared's wanted to live in Florida. I wouldn't live in Florida. His dad lives, like an hour from us here. Yeah. And he used to live in Tampa and so it was like we had family here too. And
then your parents are like, we'll come too. And you're like, okay.
So, yeah. And then now my brother is here part-time. So we just have to get my sister down. That's the last piece of my family
her husband
puzzle.
is from Miami.
Like his family lives in Tampa and some in Miami. So it's like, come on, let's go. Everybody come down.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I enjoy growing up in the Midwest. I like the Midwest values, but I like living in Florida.
There you go.
I don't like winters.
Yeah, winters are not our thing. I don't like snow. I don't like ice. I don't like below 40 degrees.
I like jean shorts and Crocs is what I like.
That's right.
Florida
jean
man.
Shorts and Crocs. Some jorts.
I said jean shorts.
Okay.
Not going jorts over here.
Oh, okay.
I'm classy. Okay. And along those lines, said once both of your children are moved out of the home, do you see yourselves moving closer to Disney? Well, first off, let's just hold our horses here. They're already too big.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about that age yet, but I don't know. I'm one of those people that when you say like, what's your 5-year plan? I'm like, I don't know. I've always felt that way, like even in business where it's like, I've had it before. You go for a business loan and they have you like do a business plan when you haven't done anything yet. And you're like, I might as well just make up a bunch of crap because I have no clue how this is going to go because who knows what's going to happen 6 months from now or 2 years from now, all those things like that. But I mean, a lot of things would depend. Maybe, possibly. Maybe. It's if it worked out better for us to do that, then maybe I would probably be much more likely to have somebody closer to the parks that could cover the parks more for more like, day-to-day coverage versus us actually moving closer at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I like where we live, I enjoy the area. So yeah, but who knows?
I mean, yeah, they're so little right now. I mean, our he's almost 6, so it would still be at least a decade or more. 12 years at least until we would consider it.
Yeah. And I always like to say, many times God looks at your best made plans and laughs. So it's like, I don't like to plan too far and just assume all the variables that can be there just because who knows situation. But I would never say never. I guess I put it that way. All right, we got 2 more here. Do your kids enjoy character dining? And if so, which is their favorite?
They do. They do like character dining. Let's see. They liked Topolino's. They like Topolino's a lot. Let's see. They do like Tusker House. It's been a while since we've been to Tusker House. They like that one okay. I feel like Chef Mickey's, they both were kind of like iffy about. But again, it was like other characters they've seen at other places. It was very like general. Like it was very like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like not super unique at Chef Mickey's. Can you think of any others? Hollywood and Vine, we went during Halloween season and they were all in their costumes.
Yeah.
They really liked that. That was really fun.
The food there's not that good, but the character interactions are pretty good.
Right.
I think that's, they never really have said like what is their favorite.
Ohana.
Well, Ohana would be a good one.
Because of Stitch and Lilo and Stitch.
Well, that would be our daughter's favorite.
Yeah,
well,
that
probably
would
both of them. They both love Stitch.
So yeah, that would probably be their number 1 right now because that's the era they're in right now is Stitch era.
Yeah. I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Yeah. We've I think we've done almost all of the character. Have we done all the character meals before? I think so. Cape May Cafe we have not done.
Okay.
I know for sure. And if they bring back the Trattoria El Forno Bon Voyage breakfast with Rapunzel and Flynn and Ariel and Eric, I will be the first one to book a reservation. But I don't think it's coming back.
If it's not back at this point, I don't think it's coming back.
I know. But they have a great time at the character meals. They're very they're all into the characters. They're like, obviously our daughter's like, she plays into it a little bit more, but our son, he's a little more standoffish. He's not. Yeah,
he's like
not as much.
He's like, don't get in my face.
Yeah.
I don't know you, but he'll get it close enough for like a little side hug, and he's like, okay, give me my space.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, last question we have is, how soon did you bring your babies to the parks? Pros and cons, due in October. Well, first off, congrats.
Congratulations.
That's awesome. We took our daughter at 9 months old.
She was 9 months.
First time, and our son was probably like 6 months old.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. He wasn't even 7 months yet. We had just moved to Florida, and he was 6 months old, and that was his first time. So pros to bringing your kids young. Obviously,
they're free.
They are free.
They are free. That's a big pro.
They are free. Yes. Obviously they're not going to really remember the specific trips or anything, but you'll remember the wonderful interactions with the characters. Like we have pictures and stuff from when our daughter was kissing Mickey on the nose at 9 months old, and she loved it. We took our son when he was starting to walk, and we have video of him walking down Main Street, stuff like that. Stuff like that is really special. So if you want a little more magic, like living vicariously through your children as they see Disney in their eyes, then obviously take them early. Cons would be, if you go during the summer or anytime it's hot, you're dealing with stuff like that. And babies, especially, a lot of women will wear their babies, or a lot of men will wear the babies, and that can be really kind of sweaty, kind of hot. Use the baby centers. So they're a godsend because it's a nice place to get some AC, diapers, changing areas, nursing areas. it's those are great. What else? Cons? Meltdowns.
Well, I was gonna say a con is obviously babies require a lot of attention, so you got to stop a lot for diaper changes and feedings. Like my brother on years ago with my nephew when he was born, he was real little when they did the parks. And he ended up getting an ear infection while they were at Disney. Yeah. So one of the nights he didn't get any sleep because he was crying all night, and then they had to find like an urgent care, and it was a whole ordeal to get it dealt with, because a lot of times urgent cares don't want to deal with like almost newborns.
Right.
So he was like, I know it's an ear infection, had to deal with all that. So you do have more, things that go on with a baby, obviously.
Yeah.
You got to lug around a lot more stuff.
Lots of stuff.
The smaller they are, the more things that you have to take with you.
Schedule's out of whack.
It's really hard to plan because they're if they're taking a nap, and like that can be a thing in the parks too, of like depending on how the baby sleeps, like finding a nice spot for the baby to take a nap, stuff like that. A lot more logistics involved versus now, like with our kids now, we can just be like, hey, let's go. I mean, just go.
Yep.
So when they're smaller, you obviously can't do that. But I would, I always say, a lot of people say, well, why don't take them until they can remember it? But I've always said, first off, they're free, so it does help with the budget. But is like Jamie said, you'll have a lot of memories. It's still something that, just because kids won't remember it doesn't mean it's not meaningful, and you're not gonna have those pictures and things like that. So I think it's a different trip, but it can still be a lot of fun.
I still have memories of like our daughter like dancing, those dance parties, and just like jumping and shaking. And who was she dancing with? Oh, Vampirina.
Yeah,
Vampirina. Interactions with like Pluto. Remember Pluto got down and like acted like a dog?
I remember Pluto it was like 5 minutes with her. Yeah. The time it took.
I don't know. Like, I don't regret taking that young at all. I know some parents prefer if their kids are like walking or, a little more self-sufficient, if you will. But it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was magical.
I will say the biggest thing I always was worried about, again, just from a knowing things like this perspective, was obviously babies can't sweat as well. They don't deal with the heat as well. So it's always making sure they are like, hydrated and okay and not in the heat too long.
Stroller fans.
So you have a little bit more precautions. Like if you're going to go in, if they're doing October, if you go in like the summer, it's a bit more, something more I would be aware of versus like say in the winter, fall time of just that heat. Because again, the Florida heat it's different. It's much hotter, and babies and small little kids can really get overheated pretty easily, and it's kind of like it's not the same warning sign sometimes that it is with adults, and they can't tell you. So
it's true.
But it can be done. It's a lot of fun, and once they hit like 2, it's a lot of fun for them. Yeah,
the ages they are now, like almost 6, almost 9, it's so much easier. So much easier.
Gosh,
I'm just like,
when they get so old,
I'm just like, hey, you guys want to go to Disney tomorrow? Yeah. Okay, cool.
The only thing is, as they get older, I would say a pro with this, they don't have any opinions.
When they're babies? Some kids do. Some kids are very opinionated about what they want to do, like 2-year-olds sometimes.
Well, I'm saying in general, not as much as an 8-year-old.
I guess it depends on the kid. Our 8-year-old is very opinionated.
That's a shocker. I don't understand where she gets that.
Yeah, I know. She gets from you.
I know, that was the joke.
Okay.
As I'm opinionated as a person.
But yeah, so Disney can be magical at any age you take them. But I would say, like, if an opportunity presents itself and you want to take your babies, take your babies. Take your babies.
Although a nice little hack is take the grandparents with you and have built-in
that's exactly what I was
babysitters.
Yep.
So that way, if you're there with your husband, you can just go.
Take grandma and grandpa.
Yeah.
Rider swap, all that stuff.
And it's easy for them. You just put them in the little pack and play, and they're just going to sleep anyways in the hotel room. Yep. So there you go.
Oh, those naps. Disney naps are the best. Anyway.
I used to get so aware because they were taking naps in the day, and sometimes housekeeping or people being loud outside. And I was like, I'm going to go outside and take care of this.
Yeah.
I got a sleeping baby, man. But all right. Well, that's all the questions that we have. So thank you, everybody, for the questions. Hopefully we answered them very well to the best of our abilities. But either way, that's going to be it, though, for the show. So be sure to check us out on social media. Like Jimmy said, we're at Captain Magic, including Instagram, and over at Captain Magic on YouTube. I do daily videos on theme parks and pop culture that you can check out over there. And we also have, again, the video versions of the podcast over at CTM Podcast on YouTube. And we also have some other shows on the network. We have the CTM Universal show where we talk about Universal Studios. And we just had one this week or last week where we talked about some of the top 3 things to do in each land at Epic Universe, including some Universal Studios news as well. So you can check it out on this feed and its own feed as well. And then Jamie has Trip Tales, which is her trip report show. Mm-hmm. And when's the next one there coming out?
I just had it come out last week. So next one will be coming out mid-July. If you'd like to be a guest on a future Trip Tales episode, you can go to ctmtriptales.com, fill out the information about your trip, and if I want you on the show and feature your trip, I will contact you.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And of course, if you like what we do around here, want to contribute to the show, want to be a part of a cool group, want to go to some meetups, get some apparel discounts, you can check out Club 32, and that is our group where we get to interact a bit more. There's additional content. There's a private podcast feed. There are more shows. There's live streams that we do every week where we just hang out and chat with all the members like we did last night. We normally do it on Tuesday nights, but we did it last night because Jamie was leaving. We had to record early today. Mm-hmm. We also, as 20% off of CTM apparel and 1901 Candle Company products year round. We've got 2 meetups per year now, which those are always a lot of fun to just go hang out with everybody and just, enjoy the parks, just chill out a little bit. And a private Facebook group. So if you have questions about things, you can ask in there. A lot of people in that group go to the parks quite a bit. Or if you interact with a bit more with us, you can do that in there. So if you want to join, you can go to ctmvip.com. We have monthly or yearly options. If you do a yearly, you get a free t-shirt, or you're going to do a free trial. If you want to try it out before you commit, you can also do that. So again, if you want to go join Club 32, go to ctmvip.com. And if you'd like to join, we would love to have you. So all right, well, that's going to do it for the show. So thank you, everybody, for listening and or watching. And thank you, Jamie, for joining us.
Thank you.
And as Jamie always likes to say,
we will see you in the parks.
Bye.